Welcome back to the second instalment of Sir Bonk by Spike Milligan. Are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. In Dragonland, the first thing they came to was damsel in distress. She was very, very ugly and had a face like a squashed green jelly. "No, don't untie me," she said. "I've tied myself to the tree because I want a handsome knight to save me." She didn't tell them that 20 knights had seen her and run away screaming. "Will you marry me?" said Sir Bonk. "No," she said. "Thank heavens for that," said Sir Bonk. As the dragon hunters trekked through the forests of Cornwall, they came to the way in. "Let's stay here for the night," said Sir Bonk. The landlord was Mr. Clanger. "That name rings a bell," said Big Bill. "Joke." For dinner, Big Bill and Little Willie had purple pork chops and pink peas, but Sir Bonk was a vegetarian and had roast chestnuts, chips and Smarties. The next day the landlord brought him breakfast in bed. "Good morning, good night," he said. Good morning, good night. That was a short day, thought Sir Bonk. Soon they were on their way again with soppy Big Bill pulling the dragon trap. They entered a giant forest where the trees were 1,000 feet high because men had not yet chopped them down. The trees were alive with hundreds of birds, deer, bears, butterflies and margarine flies. The dragon hunters were travelling on an ancient highway called the Hem1. A sign said, "Reduce speed, dragon crossing." "Yay, hooray," said Sir Bonk. "Quick, set up the trap." So while Little Willie and Sir Bonk watched, soppy Big Bill sweated and strained to get the dragon trap ready. "Ye strain," he went, "ye strain." Then, "Ye, I've had enough." Then, "Oh, horrors, oh, hearers," and back to "horrors" again, and a terrible screech rent the air. Big Bill was very frightened and his legs wobbled so much that his trousers fell down and showed his big bare bum. On it was written, "If lost, please return to Big Bill." The terrible scream came louder. "It must have been seen your bum," said Little Willie. "Look," said Sir Bonk and pointed. "There's nothing there," said Little Willie. "I never said there was. All I said was, 'Look,'" said Sir Bonk. "But there's nothing there." "I know, that's what I was pointing at," said Sir Bonk. "Nothing. But, ha-ha, there was something there. It was ever so small, but the noise coming from it was thunderous." "Hand me my magnifying glass," said Sir Bonk. Through it he saw what it was. A little tiny man, 3 inches tall, but the noise coming from him was thunderous. "Yowie!" said the tiny man. "Shh!" said Sir Bonk. "You'll wake up the trees. Can't you see that they're all wearing nightshirts?" The little man looked up. He was dressed in a black satin gown with gold stars and wore a tall pointed hat made of glass which was full of water with fish swimming around inside. He had a long white beard, purple eyes and a long red nose that wobbled like jelly. "I am the Wizard of Nothing." Sir Bonk was puzzled. Puzz, he went. "Why are you so tiny?" he said. The wizard said, "Tiny? Rubbish! Why are you so big?" "I'm not that big," said Sir Bonk. "I'm not that small," said the wizard. Clip-clop. "Ye-ho!" "What's happened?" said Sir Bonk. "Where have you gone?" "Ye-horse!" shouted the wizard. "Ye-horse, he's standing on me!" Sir Bonk and Little Willie watched as Big Bill strained and strained to lift Daz off the Wizard of Nothing. "Hurry!" he shouted. "Otherwise I'll be the Wizard of Ye squashed flat." When they got him out, the wizard of covered in mud. "I'm sorry," said Sir Bonk. "I'll see it doesn't happen again, and again, and again." Suddenly, a great cloud of green smoke came rolling over them. "Look out!" yelled the wizard of covered in mud. "That's awful, terrible, wicked, monster, bad, naughty, nasty dragon. From the forest came a crashing and crackling of roaring flames. Open the trap, shouted Sir Bonk. I'm frightened, said Little Willie. Then get behind me, said Sir Bonk. Where are you going? Said Little Willie. Behind you, said Sir Bonk. Then he remembered they had forgotten to put any bait in the trap. What do they eat? Shouted Sir Bonk. The wizard held up a card. Don't worry, Armoured Nick. I have a dragon menu here. The menu: appetizers, lobster soup, crab meat salad, the entree, chicken and chips cooked in burgundy wine, and for pudding, wine jellies and Devon cream, Irish coffee, petit fours, port and smelly cheese, Smarties and jelly babies. He's very fussy, said Sir Bonk. Are you sure dragons eat that? Well, no, I'm not sure, but if I were a dragon, that's what I'd like to eat. Well, we can't afford that every day. You'll just have to think of something else. Mud, said the wizard. Mud, said Sir Bonk. What about mud? It's something else, said the wizard. All the while the sound of the awful, terrible, awful, dreadful, nasty, naughty dragon could be heard roaring in the woods. The magician snapped his fingers and went, ow, because it hurt. I know, he's a fire-breathing dragon, so he must eat oil, coal or logs. Brilliant, said Sir Bonk and gave him a chocolate medal. Oil is too expensive, so give him logs. Sir Bonk soon had Soppy Big Bill sawing up logs and putting them in the trap. Only just in time. Coming up the road was the terrible, awful, dreadful, wicked, naughty, smelly-pooed dragon. It was huge. It had 3 great eyes. Its scales were made of wedgewood plates of different designs and colours, and great flames came out of its giant jaws. When Big Bill saw it, his knees fell off and he shouted, Shark! Shark! Then, Tiger! Tiger! Then, Elephant! Elephant! Then, Flea! Flea! He'll soon get it right, said Sir Bonk. The dragon saw the lovely trap, walked straight towards it and went inside. Chicken! Chicken! Said Big Bill, who still hadn't got it right. Clang! Down came the door of the trap. The dragon was caught. It roared, it screamed, it breathed fire until the cage glowed red hot. It went on like this for 3 days. Then the flames stopped and went to sleep. We've got him, shouted Sir Bonk. He shouted so loud that his false teeth flew out and crashed onto the Wizard of False Teeth on his head. Then Sir Bonk gave them all a chocolate medal. I don't like chocolate, said Soppy Big Bill. I like squashed bananas. So Sir Bonk jumped on the banana and gave it to him. Now, pack up. We must get the dragon back to the palace to show the king. That is it for this week. See you next week for the next instalment.